Hey there guys, welcome back, and today I'll be doing another new what if on my channel, and I just want to apologise for doing all these new what ifs on my channel. However, I just want some new ones out so I can jump between my old ones and these new ones. And today I'm actually talking about one of my favourite characters, so let's get straight into it. Today I'm actually talking about what if Cabba was in Universe 7 instead of Universe 6. Cabba is actually one of my favourite characters in the show. I don't even know what it is about him, but for some reason, ever since his introduction, I really enjoyed any time he was on screen. So I want to give the saying a chance to shine with the main cast. So we'll start off by explaining that he's not simply going to be transferred over to Universe 7. It's not like he's going to just end up there one day by accident. No, instead, I'm just going to take everything about Cabba, his characteristics, his design, his battle style, all of that, and I will just be putting it over to Universe 7. So he's born on planet Vegeta instead of planet Sadala in Universe 7. Now, sorry if that explanation's a bit weird, but that's just how it's going to be done. So let's get started off with the story. Now, for the most part, things here go pretty much like they did in canon. Goku's sent off to Earth, planet Vegeta's destroyed, and the Saiyans who are with Vegeta find out that it's destroyed. When Vegeta and Raditz are talking about the fact they have younger brothers, one of the older Saiyans who are with them mentions the fact he has a son who's actually relatively strong, who was sent off world just before the planet was destroyed, actually. And wants to go collect him at some point, just so, one, they have a few more Saiyans, and two, there's a bit more of a chance the Saiyan race won't die out. Everyone doesn't object to this, and they do go collect Cabba after a while. Now, at this point, there are a few more Saiyans alive to keep the Saiyan race going, but like normal, the other two adult Saiyans do die. However, I do just want to quickly talk about the power level of Cabba. So, I just want to start off by saying the two adult Saiyans who are with Vegeta are probably pretty strong. They're probably supposed to act as bodyguards or meat shields for Vegeta, who was relatively strong himself. So, they are likely pushing above 2,000, 3,000-ish. So they might be quite strong. So I want to say that Cabba would probably have a power level of about 500, which I think is reasonable. So as a child, he is relatively strong compared to some other Saiyans. The reason I've put him at 500 is, well, from what we've seen of Cabba, he's actually somewhat of a prodigy. He was able to fight toe-to-toe with Vegeta in his base, which at this point, Vegeta had been trained quite a lot by Whis, and then he accessed Super Saiyan really easy, so he's got a lot of potential, so I've put him at 500 thinking that would be reasonable. But like I said, most things are going to go like they did in canon here, so the two Saiyans that were with Vegeta are still going to die some point before Raditz goes to Earth and after the destruction of planet Vegeta. We don't know when, and also Frieza is going to take in the Saiyans as, well, his minions, so that's pretty much the major events that have happened. But I want to get into Cabba's personality a little bit. When Cabba lost his father, he was destroyed. He's not like other Saiyans, he's kind-hearted and he wants to protect people. But right now he can't, because not only will Frieza kill him, Vegeta might do the same, and he's in no position to be fighting Vegeta, Nappa, or Raditz. He doesn't really like the fact that Frieza's sending him off to space to kill people. However, he is doing it to follow orders and keep himself alive. However, Cabba does draw a line at killing children and innocent people who can't defend themselves. But that doesn't matter much, because Vegeta and Nappa still kill the ones that Cabba refuses to fight. And because of this, this actually puts a lot of strain on the relationship of the three Saiyans. Vegeta and Nappa think Cabba's a big softie, and Cabba thinks they're too harsh, so they don't really have a good relationship. However, he also understands that the two Saiyans are following orders, so he doesn't ever really say anything about it. Now, for the next 24 years, everything goes pretty normal. They spend a lot of time conquering planets together, they grow stronger, they get Zenkais. And then eventually the day comes that Raditz remembers he has a younger brother, Kakarot, and he's near their current location, some planet called Earth. So, like normal, he is going to head off to grab Goku to get, an extra Saiyan to help complete a mission. And at this point in time, Cabba is actually 24 years old, and after years of fighting and getting Zenkais, he has reached a power level of about 6,000. 12 times increase, which is quite good, so he's now the second strongest of the group. However, he probably would be stronger if he was more aggressive and fought a lot more, but he does try to avoid it wherever he can. Now, even though Cabba is the second strongest, he doesn't fit in with Vegeta and Nappa, and they pick on him like they would to Raditz. And like normal, Raditz is still picked on quite a bit for being a low-class warrior. But he's not picked on as much because Cabba's also there, and he gets called a big softy. He's weak, he's pathetic, so he takes a lot of the heat for Raditz as well. But this actually makes Raditz and Cabba have some sort of a friendship. Cabba never really picks on Raditz, he just sort of gets along with him. Raditz isn't as bad as Vegeta and Nappa. You can see that even though he still kills, you can sort of tell maybe it's because he's under orders a little bit more. So he has a friendship with him. And these two Saiyans are relatively close. Now, they spend a lot of time together on missions, and if they have to fight people, they will fight with each other to defeat planets. It's a much better way for Cabba to deal with it, because it means he doesn't have to be the one to kill innocent people. Over the last 24 years, he has got more used to it, but he still tries to avoid it as much as possible. And it's quite nice. They have like this older brother, younger brother relationship, and they do just get on very well. For the most part, it is Cabba being the main force of the friendship. Raditz doesn't want to own up to the fact that he's friends with the softest Saiyan ever alive, but he had his mother Gine, who was also really soft, so he can sort of relate to Cabba in a small amount. However, unfortunately for Raditz, he hasn't grown in any significant way to defend him from dying to the special beam cannon from Piccolo. Goku still dies, however Raditz this time says that there are 3 strong Saiyans coming, not 2, and when the 3 Saiyans get the news that Raditz has died, Cabba feels a deep sadness for the loss of his friend, and when Vegeta and Nappa make fun of him, Cabba gets up to defend his friend, his brother, pretty much, which pisses off Vegeta and makes Vegeta punch him straight in the gut. They still decide to go to Earth for the Dragon Balls, but when Cabba hears they can grant any wish, he decides he's going to try and bring back Raditz. He's not sure if he'll be able to, he's not sure of how the rules work, but he still wants to try. He just needs to find a way to get the balls off Vegeta. Now, everything on Earth is going to go on normal. Goku still goes to train with King Kai, Gohan trains with Piccolo, the Z Fighters train with Kabe. Nothing changes even though there's an extra Saiyan coming. Now, the day of the fight comes. Like normal, most of the Z Fighters fall to either the Cyberman or Nappa. However, Cabba isn't getting involved. There's only 1 or 2 people he's interested in fighting, and that's the people who killed his friend. Cabba is sat there being silent, and Vegeta's sharing thoughts on the fight with Cabba. However, he's not sharing his thoughts back. He's not happy about the fact that when they arrived on this planet, they killed a whole city of people. So he just wants to get this trip over and done with and try and seal the Dragon Balls whenever he gets a chance. Now, when the fight between Piccolo, Krillin, Gohan versus Nappa happens, Cabba hears Piccolo share a bit of dialogue, which is this big Saiyan's harder to fight than the other one, which makes Cabba think the only other Saiyan that's been here is Raditz's brother and Raditz. So Cabba sits there and thinks for a minute and then asks Piccolo a question. What do you mean by this? Piccolo, who's shocked to hear the small Saiyan speak, thinks for a minute and then says, oh, well, me and the other Saiyan on Earth killed the Saiyan that came here a year ago, and he was difficult, but we could beat him. This pisses off Cabba because not only did he find out who's killed his friend, he's also found out that it was his brother who killed his best mate, so now he has some anger stored up in him. And before Piccolo can let out too many more words, Cabba charges him, and he lands one big blow on Piccolo saying, I'm not going to forgive you for killing my friend. He turns around to Nappa and says he wants to take the fight from here, with Nappa actually going to argue about this. But Vegeta stops him and says, I've never seen Cabba fight with the intention to kill, so he explains that he wants to see how this goes down. Nappa actually thinking about it, he's never seen Cabba fight for the intention to kill, so he actually wants to watch it as well. Cabba, for the most part, during this fight, doesn't care about fighting Krillin or Gohan. He even actively avoids trying to hit them or hurt them, and even at some point shouts out to them, just get out of the fight because I don't want to hurt you and I don't want to damage you at all, okay? Save your strength for Nappa, you're going to need it. Which shocks the Z fighters, as they weren't expecting a Saiyan, the same race that had just killed loads of their friends, to show this much empathy and care. But this doesn't stop them from trying to stop Cabba from killing Piccolo. But at some point, Cabba does get Piccolo down to the floor, and he has actually got the advantage, and he might just end it now to win the fight. However, when he's about to kill Piccolo, Gohan steps up in front of him, getting ready to guard for Piccolo. And at this point, Cabba realises what he's doing is sort of what Vegeta or Nappa would do. Yeah, he's doing it to avenge his friend, but he's killing someone who's just trying to defend themselves. He's not happy about it. He drops down his arm, he turns around and apologises. Under his breath, they hear it, and this is even weirder to him. They have only met 5 Saiyans. Goku, who doesn't really qualify because he doesn't share any of the same traits, Nappa and Raditz, who just tried to kill pretty much most things. Vegeta, who also has just killed an entire city on his way in, and Cabba, who's a lot more like Goku than anyone. However, this fight has actually helped out the Z fighters a lot. Cabba was trying to avoid hurting the 2 other Z fighters, so it ended up dragging the fight out a lot more, and this managed to buy time for the last remaining Saiyan to show up. Goku does arrive, and at this point, he is the same strength as he was in canon, but he's now here with Piccolo still alive. He shares out the senzu bean he's got, the 2 senzu beans he's got, to everyone there, and keeps half for himself. The fight is about to begin between the Earth raised Saiyan and the Vegeta raised Saiyans, but for the most part, this is where I'm actually going to be leaving it off. I just want to say that I'm really thankful for all the subs I've gained recently. I didn't ever expect to grow as much as I have recently, so that's really nice to see. And I also want to ask, does everyone like the idea of this what if? I know this isn't my best voiceover work ever, and I've had to redo it a few times. I've just had to rush it out a little bit for the dialogue. I had it done, but I didn't like it, so I redid it, and I didn't like it. I redid it, and I didn't like it, and now I'm here, and this is the one I'm happiest with most. So I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Have a good day or a great night.